If you run a home care agency, there's a very good chance you've heard people say, just write it off, especially when it comes to business meals. But this is one of the most misunderstood tax deduction for business owners because many people think if they talk about business during a meal, then the meal automatically becomes deductible. But that's not always true. I'm an enrolled agent, a federally authorized tax professional with over 14 years of experience in tax and accounting, and I focus on helping home care agency owners understand their numbers and stay compliant. And one thing I want business owners to understand is this: the IRS cares about documentation, not just the expense itself. Now, before we go further, there's an important distinction you need to understand. Business meals and entertainment are not treated the same way. Before 2023, many entertainment expenses were deductible. Things like sporting events, golf outings, and other entertainment activities. But under current tax law, most entertainment expenses are no longer deductible. Business meals, however, may still qualify, but only if they meet certain requirements. And this is where many business owners get confused because the question is not just, did I spend money? The real question is, did this meal actually meet the IRS requirements? The first requirement is this: the meal should be arranged for the purpose of conducting business or acquiring business. In other words, there should be a real business intent behind the meeting. For example, if you randomly run into someone at a restaurant and casually discuss business, that does not automatically mean the meal qualifies. But if the meeting was intentionally arranged, say with a hospital discharge planner or a referral partner to discuss services, referrals, staffing, or business opportunities, that's very different. The second requirement is that business must actually be discussed before, during, or after the meal. The third requirement is that the setting should make sense for a business discussion. In other words, the environment should be conducive to business conversation. The fourth requirement is documentation. You must be able to substantiate the expense even if a receipt is not technically required for meals under $75. Now, here are the key things. You should document for a business meal: who attended, what was discussed, the business purpose, where the meal took place, the date, and the amount spent. And honestly, the business purpose is one of the most important parts because saying something vague like networking or goodwill is usually not enough. You want to be specific. For example, discussed referral opportunities, talked about staffing needs, or discussed care coordination with a potential partner. And there's one more thing that's very important. The IRS wants this documentation recorded in a timely manner, not 6 months later and not at tax time. The closer you document it to the actual meal, the better. Now, here's the practical way I recommend handling this. Right after the meal, flip the receipt over and quickly write down who you met with and the business purpose of the meeting. Then take a picture with your phone. From there, save the receipt in the cloud or attach it directly to the transaction inside QuickBooks Online. The QuickBooks mobile app makes this very easy. You can attach the receipt, store the documentation, and even add notes directly to the expense, which means everything stays organized in one place. And honestly, this is much more practical than trying to remember details months later at tax time. Because this is where many business owners run into trouble. They wait until the end of the year and then try to remember, who was this with? What did we discuss? Why did I spend this money? And by then, important details are often forgotten. This is why good systems matter, because clean documentation supports clean deductions. And good tax strategy is not about being aggressive. It's about being organized, keeping records, and understanding what the IRS expects. Now that you understand how business meal deductions actually work, the next question becomes, what other deductions do business owners commonly misunderstand? Because there's several areas where business owners either miss deductions completely or claim them incorrectly. In the next video, I'll walk you through another commonly misunderstood business deduction and how to approach it correctly. And once you understand that, you'll be in a much stronger position financially, strategically, and from a tax perspective.